This conference will now be recorded.
Yep, I'm certified in SAP Process Orchestration, PO, SAP PO, as well as in SAP Cloud Platform Integration or CPI. Yep, that's pretty much about me. If you don't have any questions about me, then I can get started. With maybe today I will just start with a small presentation on what is this CPI and where is it located, like how is it positioned by SAP. No, I will start with this. Do you see my screen? Hello, hello. Do you see my screen? You can see, right?
Yeah,
hello,
we can
Naveen.
see.
Can you?
You can able to see your screen.
Sure. Okay, sure. Yeah. Let me. Okay. Yeah. So I will start with the basics of what is this cloud platform and where is SAP moving towards. I don't know how much you guys would be interested in the overall picture, or but just for a start, I will start from this picture. But this is a bit on a very high level. Earlier, SAP was actually a company that was only focusing on on-premises applications. So it started with this R2 and then R3 and then ECC, and then we had so many other systems like SRM, CRM, BW, APO, etc. sitting on-prem. But then it's in 2000, around 2008, 9, every software company. Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you like keep the full screen of the PPT itself? Okay, we can see right side the next slide. Right? Can you maximize the full screen so that everyone able to see the screen?
I'm sharing, right? Is it better now?
Can you go into presentation mode?
This one, slideshow like this.
Yeah, slideshow. Yeah.
Is this okay now?
Okay, that's okay. You go ahead. No, yeah, now it's fine. Okay, we can able to see. Yeah, that's okay. You can go. Yeah.
Yep. And so SAP decided, like any other product company like Microsoft or AWS, so everyone started to move their solutions to cloud. And that is when this whole cloud concept came, and SAP started with this SAP Cloud Platform. They started with the name called SCP, SAP Cloud Platform. And in the SAP Cloud Platform, they had a lot of softwares and technologies. But their overall goal, from a customer point of view, is to have something called as an intelligent enterprise. So, what is an intelligent enterprise? Intelligent enterprise, actually, according to SAP's definition, has three divisions in it. One is called the intelligent suite. Second one is the intelligent technology, and the third one is the digital platform. From if you're looking into CPI falls under this intelligent technologies, because intelligent technology is what they focus on, the AI, or the artificial intelligence and machine learning, Internet of Things, and big data. And yeah, so all those the advanced technologies are all applicable in this layer called the intelligent technologies. So I will come to it in a short while, but then the other two things are like the intelligent suite and the digital platform. So when you look into the intelligent suites, it is actually talking about the various SAP products that are on cloud. For example, you will have for CRM you have something on SAP, and then for SRM, which is the supplier relationship management, they've come up with Ariba. And then for the spend management, they've come up with this Concur. And for customer experience, they have come up with this field service management. So everything is now on cloud, so that is called the intelligent suite. For example, success factors for people engagement, we have something called a success factors, SAP success factors. So everything is like called the SaaS application. that is called the software as a service application. But then the intelligent technology is actually some a model called a PaaS. PaaS and SaaS are two different models. PaaS stands for platform as a service. SaaS stands for uh, uh, software as a service. So the difference between SaaS and PaaS, so SaaS is like hosted by SAP, so you will not be able to develop anything new. It is always SAP that is managing that, and you are only subscribing to it. Example, as I told, is Concur and Success Factors, Ariba. All these are SaaS models, and that is coming under something called as the intelligent suites. And then intelligent technology is the PaaS, where you as an end user can actually build applications. So that is where the SAP's famous BTP, or the SAP Business Transformation Platform, is actually sitting on that layer, and CPI is part of the BTP. So BTP is the SAP's cloud platform, where the customers can go and build applications which is based on the PaaS model, or the platform as a service model. And CPI is actually one of those one of those applications that you could use on the BTP layer to build things. So you have other applications as well. I will not get into those details. So as an integration consultant in the BTP, you will only work on the intelligent technologies, and primarily focusing on the BTP, SAP BTP, and then the CPI falls under that BTP itself. And of course, there is a bit of AI and ML, all those technologies embedded into the CPI layer. But you, as an integration consultant, you might not be able to. You're not really going to build anything based on AI. Everything is already built by SAP, and you are just going to be as an integration consultant, you are only going to build integration scenarios there in the CPI layer. And then the last one is the digital platform. So this is more about S4 itself. I don't know how many of you are aware of S4 now. ECC is like end of support by 2027. We will Every customer of SAP need to move to something called as S4. S4 is going to be the core backend for SAP, all the SAP's customer, and so digital platform is actually talking about that. So of course, it comes with some integrations to cloud platform and data management, like S4 HANA database, etc. So yeah, this is very high level slide, and the whole. If you look into any of the SAP consultants, they would be working in one of these layers. For example, Ariba guys would work on this intelligent suite. Success Factors also works on intelligent suite. CPI works on intelligent technology, and the application development guys would actually be working, and the database guys also will be working on the digital platform layer. So that is about this slide. I will go to the next one. Yeah, this is a bit in detail about the integration itself. So as I said, BTP, or the new name for BTP is the new name, Business Transformation Platform. The earlier name was Cloud Platform. So in the slides you see it as Cloud Platform, but actually SAP has renamed it now. Recently, it is renamed as the BTP, or the Business Transformation Platform. This integration layer is actually sitting on this BTP, and there are a lot of integration components on the BTP layer itself. One of them is called the cloud integration. This course is all about the cloud integration. And then you also have API management, and IoT, which is the Internet of Things, and workflow, business rules, process visibility. Those three are actually for all the workflow developments. I don't know how many of you are aware of building a workflow. So workflow is like a place where you tell that, okay, if I'm applying for a leave, so the leave must be you as a requester can fill in a form, and then the form goes automatically. You will have emails and all those things linked to that form, and as soon as you click on that button, an email is triggered to your manager, and the task is actually going to your manager, and your manager approves the leave or rejects the leave. And in case, for example, if you are looking for like a long leave, 30 days, 40 days leave, then probably your manager might need to go for another approval to his senior manager, and then the form transfers to the next manager. So it's all done automatically. That's what is called as the workflow. And then you have business rules. So yeah, business rules is where you will tell, like, if the leave is more than 10 days, then if it is less than 10 days, your immediate manager can approve. If it is 10 to 15 days, your second level manager. And then say if it is like 30 days, then your department head must approve that leave. So those kind of rules can actually be managed in a layer called the rules management or the business rules. And process visibility is even more advanced, where you can check, like, which department is actually applying for more leaves, which manager is rejecting many leaves, who is approving more leaves. So those kind of overall OPI or KPI statistics can be seen from that process visibility layer. But then our focus is only on the first box now, which is the cloud integration. We will not talk anything about the rest of the things. But then recently, this CI or the cloud integration and the API management has now been clubbed into one service called the integration suites by SAP. So if you're going to apply for a cloud integration license in the Cloud Foundry landscape, in the Cloud Foundry sub account, or the yeah, we call it as a sub account, then you cannot apply for a cloud integration license separately. So SAP has actually bundled everything into one package, and now it is slightly more expensive. Earlier, like, cloud integration and API management are two different licenses, so you can ask for one license, you can only pay for one. But now they've combined both into one layer called the integration suites. So in fact, integration suite has cloud integration, API management, and also have some B2B layer as well. B2B stands for business to business integration layer. And a few more layers, something called as the integration advisor, and also called the queue managing or the enterprise queue management systems. So everything is now packaged. Earlier, you need to go for different licenses for each of these services, and based on your needs, you can go for each of these. But now today, SAP has bundled everything into one layer, one package called the integration suites. So no matter whether you like it or not, you need to buy that big license. That is how SAP is trying to force sell its product now. But then for this training, we can actually create trial accounts. I can help create trial accounts in the integration suites. We call it as IES in short. And the trial license is valid for like 1 year. But then for every 30 days you would need to renew it by logging into it. If you don't, uh, you know it gets automatically closed 30 days from your last login. So remember to log in every 15 days or 20 days, then your license will get extended for the next 30 days. Likewise, we can get that license extended up to 365 days, which is 1 year. So in this training, we plan to use that licensing model, or the free license, instead of going for the paid one. And then yeah, the other things, like the one that you see on the top, are all the various use cases where the integration is going to be used. So A to A stands for application to application, B2B stands for business to business. There is also one more term that you will see maybe in the next slide, I guess, which is called the B2G, which is business to government. And so for A to A, application to application, means that you're going to talk between two applications within your organization itself. B2B is like you're going to talk to another company, different company, which is not part of your entity. Maybe if you are a buyer of say some materials, then yeah, you would need to talk to your seller, right? So you become a buyer, they become the seller. So that kind of integrations is called the B2B integrations. So and then B2G is business to government, where, like, for in India, we have this GST, where companies need to file their GSTs to the government authorities, the revenue authorities. So for that purpose, like, SAP has come up with this concept of B2G, where you could use the integration layer for submitting all your invoices to the government automatically through this CI layer or the cloud integration layer. And then the second layer, the second one is the IoT and device integration. IoT, as I told, is the Internet of Things, which is the very hi-fi technology where your devices can be remotely controlled by a data center, like how your Apple iPhones are getting upgraded automatically. Somewhere Apple is actually detecting that you have not upgraded your iPhone, and then it sends you an update to upgrade your iPhone. Similarly, smart TVs, Samsung TV these days, like you get all softwares automatically pushed to your device, and then you just need to click on this install button, and then the hardware gets upgraded. So that is called the IoT and device integration. So even in such kind of integrations, there have been use cases where this SAP's cloud integration has been actively used. And yeah, so the next one is the app, which is basically like your mobile apps. You can use CI layer to connect to your mobile apps as well. And then maybe I will skip that omni channel. That's a lot more advanced to talk about. And maybe I will go to the last one, which is the microservices. So microservices is like in cloud, SAP says that everything should be microservice, which means that you need to build small services. Earlier, like we used to build one monolithic application, the whole source code would be like 5,000 lines of source code that will be in one product or one application. Now SAP is actually, not only SAP, in general the trend now is to go for microservices, where database will be one service, application will be one service, UI or the user interface will be another service, and then you need to link all these microservices, and the linkage needs integration. Data needs to pass from one service to another. And yeah, so you could build one microservice in Node.js application, another microservice in, say, JavaScript, and then you would need to integrate these two applications. Two applications might be sitting in two parts of the world. One might be sitting in US, and the other application might be sitting in, say, India. And you would need some layer to integrate these applications, because for an end user, he will not, to him, he shouldn't even feel that it is two different applications. For him, it is one application. So when I click on a mobile app, you never know, even though it looks like one app for you, inside that app there will be so many microservices. One microservice will be like a database service that will be hosted in, say, Germany, and then there would be another microservice for your UI screens on the mobile that would be hosted maybe in US. So all that needs to be integrated for a for a good user experience on your mobile, right? So for all those purposes we are using CI. And yep, I will, yeah, that's good enough in this slide. And then of course there are two things that you see here. One is called the integration on the left side, and then you have the orchestration on the right side. The difference between integration and orchestration is, like, integration is like blindly you are integrating two systems. Orchestration is like you're adding a little more complexity there, like it's not just two systems, it's even more than that. You will probably need to talk to another system, and then get some data from that system, and then decide, maybe compare the data of the source system and the second system, to decide if the data should go to the fourth system, or should be returned back to the first system. So that kind of complex orchestration is done using this orchestration layer. And integration is just linking two systems. Yep. So far, any questions? I will just pass for a minute. You are able to hear me? Hello, Naveen, anyone? Hello, hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, any questions? Are you able to follow, or is it like too much to?
Yes. Yes. Following. No
Okay,
doubts.
okay, okay. Yeah, maybe I will just go for one more slide, and then yeah, I will pass for some time. And then, there are two types of integrations from an SAP point of view. One is called the process integration, and the other one is called the data integration. Cloud platform integration is based on the process integration. So process integration, as I said, like talks about A to A, B to B, B to G kind of integrations, and is based on, say, like APIs, and where you will have some mappings between your source system and target system, and then you might want to do some monitoring, like how the data went through, did it fail, and all those things. Uh, but then this data integration is more for ETL kind of thing. ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading, where like you are only sucking huge amount of data from your source system and then blindly loading into your target system. You're not doing much of say like mappings and all those things inside this layer. You are just extracting it and then loading it into the warehouse. And then it is going to be in huge size, and then yeah, so it's for like more for for all the analytical purposes, where if you want to load it into, say, Azure data lake, or AWS S3 bucket, and all those things, where you're talking about uh, GB, MB, GB of data. So in that case, you go for this data integration. But then our focus in CPI cloud integration is only the process integration. We are not going to talk about the data integration as such. Uh, yeah. And then so when you get into the details of the cloud platform integration, so the CPI layer sits in the middle, and then you see all the parties that are actually talking to the CPI layer. It could be a public authority like a government website, to which you might want to load some invoice information or pull some invoice information. And then it could be some social networks, like you might want to use some Facebook adapter to read your Facebook. You own a company, for example, and say this Expertsoft training is a company, and then they have a Facebook, and in the Facebook, for example, if people are giving some reviews, say good reviews, bad reviews, areas of improvement, and then enquiry if there are new courses available from SAP, for SAP. If all those enquiries are made on that social network in Facebook, then you could have this cloud platform integration to talk to that Facebook account and pull in all those reviews, and then act according to it. It could actually send emails to individual persons. In that, for example, it could send an email to the trainer saying that so and so person is interested in so and so training, and this is his phone number. Do you want to reach out to him and then check with him if he needs a training? So CPI can actually send an email to the trainer based on this Facebook you know tweet sorry Facebook post, or say Twitter's a tweet in Twitter. CPI can actually react to those tweets, and then take necessary action. That is about the social network. And then, as I said, mobile apps, CPI also talks to the mobile apps. And business partners, as I said, is like your suppliers or your buyers who are outside your company. It's another company, for example. Say Expertsoft is a company, and then you're looking for some system, say S4 system, and then this training institute might actually tie up with another server access institute, or someone who is providing the server access. So then they become the business partners. So they do all these commercial interactions. They can do the commercial interaction to the through the CI layer, or the cloud platform integration layer. So by the way, CPI is the old name. Now the new name is CI. We just say it as cloud integration and not cloud platform integration. We just say SAP CI. And then cloud apps is the one that I talked earlier, where like you could talk to both SAP cloud applications like Ariba, SuccessFactors, Concur, or to a third-party cloud applications as well. Maybe like some application hosted on Azure blob storage. Say CPI wants to talk to the Azure blob storage. Yes, it can talk. Even though it is on a different cloud, not SAP's own cloud, but it still can actually we can achieve that integration. Uh, yep, that is about this slide. Yeah, this is more about some details about the cloud integration, like what are the things available. One of them is called the pre-packaged integration flow. When I say pre-packaged, SAP has actually delivered some of the packages ready-made available for us. We don't need to build anything from something from the scratch, especially those government regulatory things SAP has built. SAP has talked with the respective government. So SAP has, for example, SAP has talked to the Indian government and has come up with a solution for GST filing, and that is available as an iFlow or an integration flow that we could use to talk so that our SAP system can talk to the government of India through this pre-packaged integration flows. So that is about the integration flow. And then they also they are also highlighting here that the CI layer has a lot of security in it, because every customer is worried, like what if my data goes to SAP Cloud Platform and then is sitting on the cloud, like what is the guarantee that that data will not be leaked out to my competitor. So SAP is actually giving all kinds of assurances. And then they have built in a lot of layers of layer of security in it. So that is about the security. And more importantly, community is available for CI. When I say community, if you have questions, then there are places where you can raise, and then someone from the SAP CPI community will help you to answer your doubts free of cost. So that is the SAP CPI. In fact, all the SAP products have this community where you can raise your questions, and then someone will answer to your question. That person may not be the real SAP person working in SAP. He could be someone like you or me working for an end user company or some consulting company, but could still offer to help you. So that is called the community support. Yeah. Okay. So Naveen, maybe I should stop here, Naveen, or maybe I'll just go one more slide. This one. SAP Process Orchestration is the old name, old product. Now in fact, even before that, that was called a PI. Before that, that was called XI. SAP started with something called as XI, or the Exchange Infrastructure, and then they upgraded it to something called as Process Infrastructure, and then they changed it to Process Orchestration. So earlier it was dual stack where it had both Java and ABAP. Then they changed it to only Java, and so SAP PO is what many companies are using today. So SAP PO is actually good now. SAP is saying that SAP PO or process orchestration can be used for on-prem to on-prem integration, which is basically the A to A, application to application kind of integration. But then if we have any of our applications on cloud, then they are recommending that we could use both. And then if we have one of our application on cloud, and then we want our on-prem SAP system to talk to that cloud system, then SAP is recommending that we have two options. One is to go for SAP process orchestration, and the other option is to go for SAP cloud platform integration, cloud integration. So but then when both of our applications are on cloud, there is no on-prem at all, both are cloud. Maybe our own cloud or some third party cloud, and then it could be our own application or some third party our partners application. So in any case, as long as both the sender system and the receiver system are on cloud, then SAP is recommending to go for this cloud platform integration, not PO. PO is used when at least one of the system is on prem. If both the systems are on-prem, then PO can be definitely used. But if only one system is on-prem, then you have two options, either to go for PO, SAP Process Orchestration, or SAP Cloud Platform Integration. But if both applications are on cloud, then SAP blindly recommends us to go for Cloud Platform Integration itself. Yeah, maybe I will just pause here and then or yeah, I don't know if I should go further or Naveen, any questions so far? Hello, hello. Yeah, then I will, yeah, maybe I will just quickly go through one more slide and then yeah, so this is an example of how CPI is used for integrating between S4 HANA on-prem and success factors on cloud. So, when you see this symbol, it means that it is on cloud. So CPI is also on cloud, so you see the symbol. Even here success factors is on cloud, you see the symbol. But S4, let's assume that it is on prem, then as I told you, you have two options. One is to go for PO and for cloud platform integration, because this slide uh, this slide because when one system is on-prem, one more is on cloud, then you have two options. One is to go for SAP Process Orchestration or SAP Cloud Platform Integration. So in this case, they have gone for CPI itself, Cloud Platform Integration itself, even though one of the system is on-prem and the other one is on cloud. But there is another example here where S4 is also on cloud. You see the difference here. S4 is on-prem, here S4 is on cloud. So even in this case, we can actually use the cloud platform integration. In fact, in this case, SAP says that we should only use the cloud platform integration because both the source system and the target system is on cloud. So, naturally CPI should be used. And then, there is another example of cloud to cloud. So Concur is another SAP's application that is hosted on cloud. Concur is the application that we use for all the spend and expense reporting. Say suppose in your company you are flying to another company to another office of your company outside your country. You are going to another country, and then you are the company needs to buy an aeroplane ticket for you and then needs to give you accommodation. So all that is actually managed by a system called Concur, which is SAP's own system, SAP's own application, and that application is on cloud. And then you might want to have some integrations between your core system S4 and Concur. And since both the systems are on cloud, so we have gone for this cloud platform integration. Similarly for Ariba as well, I think it's here. Yeah, it's here. Yeah, even for Ariba, it is slightly different. We have something called as Ariba CIG, or the Cloud Integration Gateway, that is also sitting next to Ariba itself. That is a small CPI. We won't call it as a full-fledged CPI, but it is a small CPI. So you could either use that CIG component, or you could use your own CPI to talk between, that um, for the buyer to talk to the seller through Ariba network. You could use both CIG as well as your CPI systems. But yeah, that is a bit advanced topic, and you might not. We will skip that for now. Ariba Integration Gateway, or CIG, is actually itself another integration layer, additional integration layer on top of CPI, that is not really covered in detail in this training. Yeah, but just wanted to give a high level picture of that. Yeah, I'm done with my first introduction session. So if any questions from anyone?
I have a question in the here. With respect to hands-on, are we going to show an end-to-end flow?
Yes.
So, like a Concur or Ariba, you mentioned it's a different thing, but for Concur or other
No,
other integration flow.
no. No, Concur, see, end of the day, everything is APIs.
Hmm.
Concur is having its own APIs, and then Concur access is like you need to have a full-fledged license from
Hmm.
SAP to get into Concur. So integration as such, like we cannot really try out everything in a training. In fact, not
Hmm.
every companies also have bought all these expensive modules. But what we could try in this is like simulate like a Concur. We could have end of the day it's APIs, as I said. Like it's only going to be APIs. Actually, when I go back to the slide, Concur and CPI, sorry, success factors. There's literally no difference from an integration point of view. You don't even need to worry whether it is success factors or Concur, because there will be consultants from success factors as well as consultants from Concur in a project who would give you all the API details and the username and password, everything. So you will actually talk to them through the APIs. So that's actually a general purpose design thinking that you just need to apply in your respective cases. So for example, success factors Concur, and there could be in different varieties of applications hosted on cloud. That there could be a third party application like India. They have something called as what is it called, the Suvida portal or something. The authorities, tax authorities have that portal, and they have given the specifications, API specifications, which is actually available on internet. You could download that specification, and then you can try to connect, but then the connection will fail because for you to really connect to it, you should have an account on the India Suvidha portal account, and that is like comes with a cost, right? Like you need to apply for that, like portal access, and unless you are really a tax filer, you will not have that access. So for that purpose, for training purposes, we will have some free websites which will actually allow us to register without cost, and then those specifications will be used in the training. You're
Okay.
following me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
And
So
one
you,
more
you,
question,
you could
maybe.
just imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Uh,
Maybe
you,
that's a
you, you,
different topic.
yeah, you could just imagine that the portal that we will get access to is actually Ariba or success factors or India's tax suvidha portal or something. You can just imagine for this training purpose, but in the project real world, probably you might get access to the real system itself, and then the APIs will be when you're triggering the integration, the data is hitting that server, but in our training purpose it will not hit those real servers but a dummy server.
Okay. Maybe the second question is, I'm just hearing like we can call this iFlows from a Fury app as well. So, are you going to showcase how this is done in the training, like
No, Fury
exposing?
app is a completely a different. Can you repeat that question? Like
Yeah, I mean, we
call the
can call this iFlows from a Fury
yeah.
app. Like we expose iFlows as a OData service, and then we can call it from the Fury app or other means. So, are you going to show how we can expose iFlows as an OData
Yeah,
service?
of of course, iFlows will be exposed as you can expose the iFlow as a RESTful service, or
Uh-huh.
REST is nothing but OData, or a SOAP service. Uh,
Okay.
so until exposing something in CPI will be covered here, but then if you want to integrate those exposed iFlows into some Fury screens and all those things, no. That is completely a different area that is not covered in this training. So for that you need to get
Okay.
into a Fury ABAP Fury, sorry, Fury training, where you will
Okay.
have UI consultants, user interface consultants who will help you, tell you like how to call an API endpoint in a Fiori tile or whatever it is. But I am not an expert there. That is a different area. But yeah, for that matter, CPI flows can be called from Fiori, can be called from even from Postman. There is a tool called Postman. Do you know that?
Yeah, yeah, I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could trigger it from a Postman. Postman is actually the client that could. It's actually a simulation for any client in the world. Yeah, it could be a Fiori, it could be any other system that is going to call this iFlow. It could be anything, but then from for our training purpose, we will simulate it using a Postman client. Okay, if no more questions, then I hand it over to Naveen.
Hi, Nataraj. I have a couple of questions here.
Okay.
The first one is, do we need to have a coding knowledge for this? Since you were
Not
talking about,
no, no. So if you're looking for like basic skills, I wouldn't say basic. Even for an intermediate skills, coding is not needed. But only when you want to do advanced things, but coding is needed, of course. But then it is just a few lines of code here and there. For example, Groovy scripts and all those things. We might use some of them. But then, yeah, I could actually avoid those scenarios and then. Have some other scenarios where coding is not needed completely also.
if I want to become a integration consultant, should
Mhm.
I need coding language or
Oh,
even a non?
if you want to become a full-fledged integration consultant, then at least in CPI world, you need to know basics of Groovy scripts.
Okay.
There is something called as Groovy scripts, so you need to know basic of it. But then, yeah, you can still manage because now all possible scripts are available in Google. So you could just copy and work on it, and then you can take your time to learn about the Groovy scripts, like the basics, because learning Groovy from the basic itself is another different training. You need a lot of time to learn Groovy from the scratch. So I would recommend that you learn on demand. So whatever you need to know for a particular case, just learn it and then understand from there. Yeah, otherwise you will never be able to get into CPI.
Okay. Okay. The other one is the current slide which is there on the screen. It's like, this SAP Cloud Platform integration sits in between S4 HANA and SAP SuccessFactors, right?
Yeah.
So as an integration consultant, should I need to have knowledge about S4 HANA and SAP SuccessFactors also?
No, no. No, as such, you're not expected. But then, if you're looking for jobs, applying for jobs, then they might prefer if you have a bit of knowledge on S4. Uh, but as such, no, you don't need to.
Okay. Okay.
Could be an added advantage, but for now, no.
Okay. Okay. And how different is the CI cloud integration when compared to other integration tools like within boards or MuleSoft? What added advantage CI has over
Uh,
there?
uh, CPI with MuleSoft, and what is the other one that you told?
I think boards is also an integration tool. SAP boards.
SAP bot.
Yeah, BODS.
Ah, BOTS. Okay, I heard it as BOTS. I got confused whether you're talking about SAP robotics. Okay. No, at least with MuleSoft, I can tell that uh, earlier the cloud platform was like slightly lagging behind. SAP Cloud Integration was slightly lagging behind MuleSoft because MuleSoft had this capability of uh, uh, API management along with it. Are you aware of API management? Like, okay. Yeah, MuleSoft, Apigee, even Azure Service Bus and all those things have some layer of API management. When I say API management, like you have your backend API, and then you don't just like that expose your backend API to your third-party systems, because you might want to control, for example. If you're a platinum customer, and then you are a platinum customer and I'm a bronze customer, and both of us are using the same APIs of Expertsoft's trainings has some hosted APIs, and you as a platinum customer of Expertsoft will have more advantage. Like, you can call 10,000 API calls per day. I as a bronze customer can only call 100 APIs per day, because you as a platinum customer, you might be paying more to Expertsoft for using their APIs. I might be paying less to Expertsoft for using their APIs. So how do Expertsoft control, like you are allowed to only make 100 calls? If I make 101th call, it will say that your quota is over for you today, try again tomorrow. But then in your case, it will allow you up to 1,000 calls. So how is this all managed? It is managed through this layer called as API management, where it will identify you, who are you as a customer, and then will decide how many API calls are allowed for you for your quota. And then there can be additional security layers on top in the API management. And then there could be another hacker who might want to, like, make 1,000 calls in 1 second through some robots, or some machines or robots can actually make 1,000 API calls to the backend system. And then if 1,000 calls are made in 1 second, for example, then there is something called as a DO, that is called in security world, that's called the DOS attack, or a DDoS attack, distributed denial of service attack, where you're bringing down your if someone is making so many calls, then the backend cannot take that many calls, right? So it will break down and then it will crash. How do you manage all that? That is done through API management layer. So MuleSoft had this API management layer right from the day one, but SAP did not have it. Or SAP had its own API management, but was not part of the CPI itself. So you need to buy a different license for CPI and a different license for API management. And then MuleSoft actually gave it as one experience to the customer, so they were able to attract more customers. But now with all those market trends, SAP has also managed to integrate these two layers into one layer. In the CI layer itself, you have both the core integration as well as the API management. So that way, between MuleSoft and CPI, earlier MuleSoft was definitely leading in the market. Now CI is actually has caught up with that MuleSoft, because most of the SAP customers, they prefer to have SAP products itself instead of going for third-party product. So yeah, I hope I answered your question, but I can tell you that MuleSoft is a very close competitor of CPI, as well as Dell Boomi. I'm not sure if you have heard about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any more questions? I hope it was meaningful. I, yeah. All right then, Naveen. Back to you, Naveen. Hello, Naveen. Hello, Naveen. Yeah, I think Naveen is on another call. Maybe he's not responding. But then, if no more questions, then probably we can end the meeting. Okay. Thank you all. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.